Hello everybody, this is going to be my first Hu Tao video as I start to look at the Hu Tao and how I think it could be built, what stats, substats, weapons, skill order, all that information I'm going to start covering in a series of videos similar to like what I did for Zhao already. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what else you would like to see covered on this channel. Getting into it though. Hu Tao is a weird character for one of the biggest reasons. As you can see right here, there's their base attacks column. They have a base attack of 106. That is, I'm sure, the lowest base attack out of any other character. Additionally, she does have the second highest HP, I believe, of every character. I think only one character may have a higher HP than her right now. Additionally, her ascension skill is, her ascension stat is going to be crit damage. All these three stats are going to be the most important stats for us to track when we're talking about artifact sets and artifact stats and substats. Alright, getting into it. Another thing to read before going to actual artifacts is her skill. The main thing we're going to focus on in this skill right now is that one, it costs some of your health, your current HP, to activate. Two, it actually increases your attack by a percentage of your max HP. Additionally, this percentage increase to your attack can never exceed 300% of your base attack. So yes, she may have a very low base attack, but as long as you pair her up with a good weapon, or any weapon, really, you should be able to increase that basic attack somewhere in the 500 or greater. Especially if you get a a good 4 or 5-star weapon. Some 4-star weapons will put you almost at 700. Some 5-star weapons will put you near 800, which means that for an average 4-star weapon, you should be looking at a maximum bonus of 1,500 attack, where for a maximum, for an average 5-star weapon, it's going to be somewhere closer to 1,800, I believe. Yeah, roughly 1,800 or even 2,100, based on which weapons. But yeah, closer to 2,100 unless you have the Skyward Spine, which will be beneath that. So no matter what, I did some calculations. It's not looking like you're really going to be pushing this hard unless you have a lot of HP substats in your artifacts. However, I'm not going to be doing most of my calculations looking too closely at substats because substats aren't predictable. The only things that are predictable are your main stats. And maybe if I have one set that I would put on my Hu Tao, I'll use those exact stats from those artifact sets to calculate what everything would be in the end. However, I'm not going to get too much into calculations in this video. That'll more be in my weapons guide video. For now, we're just looking at artifacts. Yeah, so now that we covered that, let's talk about what's her best artifacts, or what artifacts that are even able to be used on her. One of the issues right currently is that there's no artifact set in the game that increases your, well, not in the game. There's no 5-star artifact set currently in the game that increases your HP. So you're not going to be able to get any bonuses to your HP from there. Additionally, there's no good 2 or 4 set. I mean, there's no good 2 and 4 artifact sets. There's some 2 sets that are going to be good on her. There's some 4 sets that are going to be good on her, but there's no artifact set currently in the game that will give her a good 2 set and 4 set bonus. That being said, let's look at the 2 set pieces that I would be looking to put onto my Hu Tao if I was going to build her. I'm not even sure if I'm a puller at this point, but if I was going to build her, some of the 2 set artifacts that I'm going to be looking for is number 1, Crimson Witch of the Flame set. This is going to be the obvious one because, again, her skill also converts all of her attack damage to pyro damage, very similar to what Child currently does, meaning that most of the damage that you're going to have coming out of you is going to be pyro damage while the skill's active. If you look here, the duration of the skill is 9 seconds, and the cooldown is 6 seconds, but since this cooldown starts as soon as you hit your ability, that does make this cool, or actually I assume, assuming this cooldown starts once you activate this ability, that means you're only going to be seeing like a 7-second cooldown duration as long as you stay for the entire duration of the skill. However, if she's just like Child and this doesn't activate or this doesn't start until she gets out of her ability, then it'll be different. However, Child actually has a range for how long his cooldown is going to be based on how long he stayed in his stance. Currently, it does not look like Hu Tao has that same range, being that I'm gonna guess that the cooldown starts as soon as the duration does as well. That being said, again, Crimson Witch is going to be the easiest no-brainer set for her. All of her damage will be increased, all her normal attacks, once she's in her ability, all of her burst damage is going to be increased. No-brainer 2 set for her. However, then the next 2 sets are going to be where it takes a little bit more creativity, because no 2 set really, to me, works, like it's just a perfect fit. However, I do have 3 sets that are going to be good fits as well to pair up with your 2 set of Crimson Witch, and the first one is going to be Noblesse Oblige. This is going to be similar to what people used to do with Child, how they did 2 Gladiator, 2 Noblesse. It's going to be the same thing for Hu Tao, but instead of Gladiator, it's going to be Crimson Witch. And the Noblesse Oblige is obviously just going to increase the damage of her skill. Of her burst. That's all you're going to be looking for it to do. She actually has decent burst scalings, starting off at 300, and by level 6 almost hitting 400. Additionally, she does even more damage with her burst if she is low HP. So if you have her at low HP, you're going to be doing almost 500 at level 6, which, increased by the increase of your Crimson Witch plus the increase of the Noblesse Oblige will be a sizable bonus in damage, over 30%. Yeah, that's pretty much the justification for Noblesse Oblige. Then the next 2 are a bit weaker, but still possible, or still possibilities in my opinion. And the next one is going to be Wanderer's Troop. Why I say Wanderer's Troop is really good is because Hu Tao is a Pyro character. Pyro has access to one of the absolute best reactions in the entire game with Melt, and having additional Elemental Mastery just means you're going to have additional Melt damage. Melt's already going to be doing a sizable chunk of damage just because of the way its calculations work. It's actually going to be, I don't know reaction calculations too well yet, but it's pretty much a very large increase to your damage. That's one of the reasons why Diluc is one of the absolute best main DPS, one of the reasons why Clee is one of the absolute best. The Melt reaction and then all the other reactions that Pyro has access to are really strong. So having additional Elemental Mastery is one good idea. And then the last one, this is kind of a throwaway. I just thought it'd be, it'll work, so I don't see why not. And that is going to be the Maiden's Beloved set. If you have some Maiden's Beloved set pieces that you aren't using that would be good for Hu Tao, you can put them on her, and that's because she does have a heal. It's just to heal herself, though, when she activates her burst. To lower her, if she's below 50% HP, she also has an additional healing as well. So if you want to build just to keep her alive every time you burst, you can put Maiden's Beloved on her. Again, this one is a throwaway. This one is not something I actually would plan to do or try to do. But if I end up having a really good flower, or if I end up having a really good circlet and a really good cup that fit for Hu Tao that are both Maiden's Beloved, I'll do it. I'll put it on her just because she can take she can take benefit of the character healing effectiveness. All right. Next, we're gonna look at 2 sets that I'm looking at that I think can work as her 4-piece sets as well, and that's gonna be Retracing Bolide. Again, that's because you're gonna be converting all of your normal attack damage to Pyro. This is gonna be again really similar to what people were doing with Child at the time. You're gonna run Hu Tao with someone like Albedo, someone like Zhongli, keep your shield up as much as possible. That way you're going to have increased normal and charge attack damage. The biggest part of this is actually the charge attack damage for me, because for Hu Tao's skill, her first skill, Guide to the Afterlife, when she goes into her Pyro Convert form, she's going to be able to pop something called a Blood Blossom. This is going to be exactly like Riptide on Child, where when you charge attack specifically and hit an enemy with a charge attack, you're going to put the passive on them, where they're going to start taking pyro damage every 4 seconds. And it lasts for 8 seconds total, so they'll probably take 2 procs of the pyro damage. Yeah, it's only proccable for her charge attacks, and then if you actually look at not her skills, but some of her constellations, like the first one, Hu Tao charge attacks do not consume stamina, and there's a couple other constellations as well that talk about her charge attacks. So it does lead me to believe that the charge attack is going to be her kind of bread and butter, similar to like Plunge on Zhao, and how other characters have certain attacks that they favor. Hers is going to be her charge attack, especially to be popping that Blood Blossom. Not many things give bonus to charge attack specifically. Most of them just a normal attack, like the Gladiator's Finale just gives it normal attack. Where the Chasing Bull, I'd give it to normal and charge attack. So that's why I would run this as a 4-piece set. The next one is just a Lava Walker set. It's going to increase your pyro resistance, which I don't see as really important, but it can be helpful. But then it'll also increase your damage against opponents affected by pyro by 35%. As a main DPS pyro character, you will be affecting people with pyro quite often, I assume. And so you'll be able to take advantage of this 35% bonus attack quite often as well. Alright, that's all I have to say about the sets that I would use on her. I'm going to quickly clear up why I wouldn't use certain sets. Bloodstained Chivalry does give you an increase to your charge attack, however, you will not be taking advantage of the physical damage nearly as much, so I don't think it's as worth it. Gladiator's Finale, you have super low base attack, because again, yours is only 106, meaning the Gladiator's Finale's 2-piece bonus won't be the best on you, and it's only increasing your normal attack damage, which again, isn't the best, because her charge attack seems to be a little bit more important. However, still useful, I mean, if you want to run that, but the big thing is the 2-piece isn't going to be giving you much of an advantage. Obviously, Thundering Fury, Viridescent, and all the other like elemental specific ones aren't going to work on her as well because she has her element of Pyro. And that pretty much covers everything for that. Alright, so those are the that's my evaluation on the sets themselves, but let's also talk about some stats and substats. I'd quickly wrote it out here. Your stats, obviously HP and attack are talking about your flower and your feather. Those stats are set, but I still put it up there. Then for your stands, you're going to be going HP instead of attack. Again, any percentage scaling for your base attack is going to be super low because she has such a low base attack. Instead, scaling based on your HP is going to be much more important. Yeah, so you want to scale your HP up more than you want to scale anything else up, because your HP will be converted to your attack once you're in your ability. So that's why I'm going to go HP Sands. Then she is a Pyro character. She converts all her damage to Pyro, and she has a Pyro Burst. She's the main DPS. We're going Pyro on her Goblet. And finally, we're going to go Crit Rate, most likely, on her Circlet. This is because she has an incredibly high crit damage. Especially if you get her Personal Spear, you're just going to keep boosting that crit damage up. And you're going to want additional crit rate on her. Make sure she's actually going to be able to take advantage of those big crit rate numbers. Sadly, she's not a cryo character, so she won't be able to take advantage of all the cryo benefits. However, you might want to run a cryo resonance on her team, just so she has additional crit rate as well. Beyond that, she does have this ability that gives crit rate to the rest of her team. Sadly, it's not her specifically, so I wouldn't worry about that. In other words, she has no crit rate built into her kit, so crit rate is going to be super important to get on your circlet. And then talking about substats, HP percent and crit rate still are going to be my number 1 and number 2 slots. I know a lot of people don't like flat attack or flat defense or flat stats. However, or a lot of people do as well. However, I think because your HP numbers are so high, I think HP percentages are so much more important than flat HP. That yeah, HP percentage for your substats can be my priority, right next to crit rate. Again, you have an incredibly high crit damage innately, so to really take advantage of that, you're gonna want to build crit rate. So crit rate's gonna be right up there as my second my tied for first highest priority for your substats. Next, we're gonna go for crit damage. Again, you already have a really high crit damage, but it's never going to be a problem to push that damage higher and higher. So getting higher crit damage is going to be important. Then finally, I'm going to have Elemental Mastery and Elemental Recharge for a tie. Elemental Mastery is super important on Pyro characters because they have access to some of the best reactions So you're gonna want to at least have some substats pushing that forward. But then additionally, you're gonna want to have energy recharge. Maybe not as important as elemental mastery, but it's still gonna be pretty important because she does have an energy cost of 60. So unless you have a good amount of energy coming in, you're not gonna be able to take advantage of this every time it's off cooldown. And because she's such a character who eats her own health so much as well, for whatever reason, characters who don't want to live are going to be super popular in patch 1.3. But yeah, since she eats her own health so much, it's going to be important to have this up as much as you can to make sure you're offsetting that health drain, cost. It's not going to be a drain like Zhao, it's going to be just a straight up cost. So to offset that health cost, you're going to want to be able to heal yourself back up. Okay, that's about it. I'm gonna cover more in depth about her kit and in my weapons video, just because that's where I think it comes into more consideration. She does have some. I think she is a constellation heavy character, so I'll have to take that into consideration while making some of my guides. However, I do try to make most of my guides specifically at C0 because a lot of people just don't have the luxury, time, or money to be getting C6 characters. So yeah, C0 is going to be my focus in this. But I will try to, if I see a large enough difference in her build because constellations, I will make side notes in my videos telling you when you'll want to do something different for your constellation. Alright, but that's everything I have to cover in this video. Be expecting a weapons guide. Oh, there's actually one additional thing I would love to cover real quick. Shared on my share of Genshin mats. I posted this for Zhao, but I have went ahead and added Hu Tao, the Ascension material as well as a separate page at the bottom. So anyone who's made a copy already, if you want Hu Tao's copy, just go in, make another copy. I've already explained how to go through this on that video, so you can just go ahead and make another copy. And yeah, that is all. Have a good day, and I'm out. Oh, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe,